I can make their lives a little bit better, the last thing they're going to be thinking about is my race.
You think the state's moved beyond that?
What's that?
You think the state has moved beyond that?
I do. Look, there's no doubt that race is always a factor in American society. There's no denying that. But I think we've made enormous progress in a generation, certainly since I was born in the early 60s. And I think that people right now are much more concerned with who's going to look out for them, who's going to fight for them, who's going to bring about the kind of change that's needed in Washington.
So if you don't do well in the caucuses, we're not going to hear David Axelrod and Robert Gibbs and all your spinners telling us, well, Barack Obama didn't do well in Iowa because it's a lily white state. I just want to lay that down.
Guaranteed. Look, we have invested in Iowa. I have been campaigning actively in Iowa. We expect to do well in Iowa. And
what do you say, Senator, to those Democrats who very quietly, because it's not easy to talk about race in politics, will say, we're not sure Barack Obama can win because a lot of voters aren't ready to vote for a black man in America?
I heard this when I was running for the U.S. Senate. Illinois is 12% African American. It's not a majority African American state or even a substantial plurality African American state. And people said, there's no way that folks downstate are going to vote for you. And downstate Illinois is pretty similar to Iowa culturally and demographically. We ended up winning that primary by 20 points. We won the white vote, we won the rural vote, we won the farmer vote. There wasn't a vote we didn't win against strong candidates, one who spent $30 million, another who was the sitting state comptroller and was a very popular elected official, and we beat him. So, I've heard this before. I think it gives the voters too little credit, and we're confident that we're going to be able to do well.